So let's talk about staying motivated on a diet. How do you deal with those times when you're just at a low, where you don't have that drive, when you don't have that motivation, it's starting to bleed into your consistency? And how do you go from that to a point where you're really consistent and you're just doing it? You're just taking action, you're just getting the results. And I want to share with you some strategies and thought processes that are going to help you master that level of consistency. And by the way, this is not a quick fix. Like, I can't just tell you one sentence that's going to solve this overnight. And also, getting lean takes hard work. I mean, there's just no way around that. So you got to be willing to put in the hard work. And this is really about finding ways for you to be consistent with that hard work and for you to find better ways to put in the work, right? So there's no way around the work. And also, if you're new here, if you don't know who I am, my name is Mario Tomic. If you love to learn about fitness, nutrition, personal development, consider subscribing below. So make sure to hit that bell icon to enable notifications so you get notified when new videos come out. And now let's dive into it. Now, the first frame of mind that I want to share with you that's going to help you be consistent regardless of your motivation is something I call data over emotion. And what I mean by that? Well, I see so many people have their emotional state being affected by something like the number on the weight scale, by something like if they had 50 more calories or whatever. Now, when you set things up right, when you're having, let's say, daily weigh-ins, and then you look at averages across multiple weeks, you never ever look at the daily weigh-in, you just look at the averages, you really see that you can trust there's a system in place. So if I eat this much, and I'm losing this much right now across multiple weeks, not one day, remember that, across multiple weeks on average, then really, if I'm not losing, I just have to eat a little bit less or find ways to increase my activity or just find a better system. So it's not about your emotion, it's all about the system and thinking data over emotion. Because once you get emotional, once you get subjective, that's when things will start falling apart. That's when you're gonna feel drained. You're gonna start making emotional, subjective decisions about the whole process. You're gonna rely on that to dictate whether you're taking action or not. And of course, you're gonna fall off track. It's just a matter of time because you're gonna get upset. You wake up one day, you see the scale is not showing the number you want it to show, you get emotional, then what happens? You end up overeating because what does it matter if I'm falling off track? If the scale doesn't show me the right number, I go eat more. And that is such a big crutch for so many people. So think data, not emotion. If you think like that, if you think more like a data scientist and yourself as a scientific experiment, it's going to go a very, very long way and motivation is no longer going to be an issue. Now, the second thing many do wrong when it comes to staying motivated on a diet that influences their consistency is forgetting the big picture. They get caught up in the day-to-day minutia. They're thinking about the extra 40 calories they had last night, should add a little bit more cardio after workout. They're consistently thinking about these things and they forget the why. They forget the big vision. They forget why they're doing the diet to begin with. They forget that this is going to handle this area of their life for the next 40, 50 years so they can be the best self. They can have the energy. They can have the vitality to take care of themselves, to take care of their families, to contribute value to the world. They forget this because they're so caught up in micromanaging if they had extra 5 grams of carbs and should you take that away from fats or whatever. And don't get me wrong, it's okay to micromanage a little bit to learn how this stuff works, but you don't want to forget the greater vision and the real reason why you're doing this. Because if you forget it, the value of the goal goes down. So you're more likely to procrastinate. You're more likely to get lost because you're not seeing the forest for the tree. You're just seeing little bits that are happening day to day, but you don't really know where you're going. And if you want to get motivated and driven and really have a purpose, you want to have some greater thing that you're working toward. It has to have massive value in your life. Like health and fitness has massive value and most people forget it. So don't forget that, and that's going to help you to stay motivated on your diet. Now, the third thing that's going to help you with staying motivated on a diet and being more consistent is basing your actions on your identity instead of relying on motivation. Because motivation is not reliable. It's outside of your control. It will be high, it will be low, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. It's not something you can actually control. But your identity and your core values, that can be under your control. You can define those. You know, basically, if you look in the future, imagine yourself, what would the best version of myself do in this situation? And you can go back in the present and act like that. So let's say you come back from work, you're feeling a little bit tired, you're not sure if you should hit the gym or not. You can ask yourself, well, what would the fit, lean, consistent version of myself who is already at the goal where I want to go to do right now. And that could be a core value. It could be a value that I'm gonna do it regardless of how I feel. And really you can define those core values, because the person you are right now is basically a result of all your behaviors, your actions, and your habits that you did for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And if you wanna become a better version of yourself, a different version of yourself, there's action and behavior involved in that. And how do you find those actions? Well, you can think, well, 5 years from now, where do I wanna be? What type of person do I wanna be? What does that best version of myself look like? And then you can just act in that way right now, which will make you that person. And once you become that person, you're not gonna rely on motivation anymore, because your identity is so strong, and you're gonna do it regardless of how motivated you feel. And that's really the secret to kind of this long-term identity shift, where really your behaviors, you just do them regardless of how you feel. And going to the gym or eating right and managing your nutrition properly and staying lean and healthy and doing all these right things, it's just the default. That's who you are. That's the person you are. And there's not that pull to come back to be the overweight version of yourself, whatever you're struggling with. And that's the shift I want you to make, because that's going to guarantee your long-term success. And that's the best case scenario. That's the way you want to think about these things, instead of relying on motivation, which kind of comes and goes, and it's not really something you can really rely on long-term. Same as discipline, because it's drainable. Like, it's limited, because once you run out of willpower, you run out of discipline. But your identity is something that's rock solid. Your core values, your integrity, the person you are, that's rock solid. That you can always rely on. And that's really a position where you want to be in, instead of relying on these things that are just coming and going and that are just inconsistent. You want to get something predictable, which is your identity. And I'm going to leave a video here at the end that's going to actually help you get lean, stay lean, and all the habits and things that are my favorite habits for doing that. So check out that video. Other than that, leave me a comment below if you have a question. Also, make sure to hit like if you enjoyed this video. Other than that, I will see you in that next video.